Yes, for the record, it's Liz's fault we don't have matching masks today. I will blame everything on Liz.
Always.
Speaking of, no, it's not always your fault. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Hello.
Good morning.
Look, this is my second knit t-shirt, birthday present from Brian. I knit periodically. Haha, get it? Get it? It's so Brian humor. I love it. And guess what? So this is also a shout out to Megan, because I don't know if she still watches the show, but like she teaches science, and so this is a double joke for her. Yay. I learned a new element because, see, the elements spell the word yarn, and argon and nitrogen are colors of Lorna's laces that she dyes, which is fantastic. But look, for the Y, I didn't know this is yttrium. Yttrium. I didn't know it existed. I have learned something from the shirt.
Heard of it, and I don't know why. But
yeah, I feel like I've heard yttrium, but didn't know it was spelled that way, and didn't know it's number 39.
So it's not like a brand new.
No. Well, what are the brand new ones? Are they
I don't know. There's
It's not like Noro numbers where the new ones have the higher numbers. It's based, okay, scientists will have to correct me here, but I think it's based on how many like protons are in the nucleus. So, yeah.
It's been a hot minute since I actually cared.
I took AP chemistry when I was in high school. And I'd like to point out two things. That was a really long time ago.
That's not it.
Argon is the
We don't have argon.
I know what that is. It's the white one with the black fleckies and the okay, returning to my point. High school is a really long time ago, and high school AP chemistry sounds really impressive, right? I wasn't very good at it. It was not the one of the AP classes that I excelled in. In fact, AP US history was my lowest grade. And that was not because I didn't excel. It was because the class was awesome, but did not prepare me for the test. I think I got a 3 on the AP Chem because I didn't like it as much. It wasn't my subject. So therefore, could be talking about this out of my butt. So Liz pulled them out. We have oxygen. This one's beautiful.
It's my favorite.
Remember, she's doing a worsted weight papillon out of the worsted weight oxygen. But argon, that's the middle one here, argon. It is black and has neon flecky confetti kind of thing in it. And then nitrogen has a lot of blue with a little bit of orange fleckies in it. It's very pretty. So, welcome to the Sun Dragon Sideshow.
The Dear Becky and Lizzy
That was
edition.
a long cold open, as maybe some people say. Dear Becky and Lizzy edition. I'm Rebecca. I am the owner of Sun Dragon Art Fiber in clearing up Brevard, North Carolina. It is not pouring rain this morning. I actually see blue sky. Things are wet outside.
When I got into town or came into town, there were pockets of blue sky, but Brevard was completely cloudy. And it was like, great. And
gloom and doom.
Now looking out the windows, there's just
some
a
clouds
few
over there.
puffy up.
Yeah.
They're disappearing clouds and blue sky everywhere else.
So
I'm
who are
Liz.
you?
I'm a minion at Sun Dragon Art and Fiber in Clearing, downtown Brevard. It's supposed to be hot again today.
Is it? Well, it's already 64. So hence I am in a t-shirt without a cowl or a sweater. You know, weather is just crazy. Right?
I'm working on my winter socks because it's coming.
Winter's always coming. And we're getting a little bit of a later start today than I would have liked because I usually go to the post office on Wednesdays and Fridays. And yesterday,
neither one of us could figure out what day, let alone what day.
It was Veterans Day, and I should have known that meant the post office would be closed. But my brain was not connecting my synapses right. So, well, yeah, Veterans Day. But
I knew it was Veterans Day.
It's a package day.
I just didn't know it was Wednesday, but I couldn't remember that nothing was open on Veterans Day. And
neither did I.
Yeah.
So I had to go to the post office with more packages than I needed to take yesterday. Thank you all very much. Which means, you know, we have at this point about 35 minutes until Vikings could potentially. Actually, we have a 10 o'clock appointment. So
yeah.
So but here's what balances that out. We have one letter today, and we'll have filler around that one letter
as per usual,
you know. But if we don't need the filler, we won't take it because we have to get ready for an appointment. I brought this in, and my cat's very upset because it is where he likes to hang out. Because we talked about Rapture and Ultra Alpaca yesterday, and I mentioned my sweater. And so I brought my sweater in today. Ta-da! This is my Venturesol with the
you
the
have one sleeve done?
No, I have one sleeve, half done.
Oh, one sleeve half done.
The other sleeve is, you know,
undone.
But in this pretty.
So if you just, you know, you could knock that out this weekend and have a sweater.
I might, because this weekend is a weekend off for me. So I might actually work on this. What?
You're outside.
It's attached.
Yeah, I know it's attached, but the way you're going to come through it is going to be underneath the.
She's trying to help. I know. Someone's going to say, don't make faces at Liz. She's trying to help. So isn't this pretty?
It looks so cool.
Ta-da! It's got, the Venturesol is meant to have an open neck. So I may just have to wear it, you know, decide if I'm wearing it with a tank top underneath or just letting my t-shirt show and be weird when I finish it. I have to see if I have any tank tops left that fit.
It's so pretty.
So anyway, the blue is Rapture. The pink is Rapture. And they are up online. I got them up online. And the dark pink it's Ultra Alpaca. It's this guy right here. So it's so pretty. It's so wonderful. Yay. Okay. I will take this off in a second. I should just be Frankenstein for the rest of the episode. It's actually not too hot yet, but it will be.
Give it about 10 minutes.
Maybe.
I was going to say 3, but
yeah,
you know.
So yeah, I took, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 10 packages to the post office this morning. Not bad. So yes, I wanted to show you this, and I get to feel for it. This is not blocked. When I block it, I will gently block it because I don't want it to grow more than it already has. You know, like, not that it's grown, but I don't want it to be bigger than it is because it's already it fits pretty nicely right now. It's got a lot of, if anything, I've probably, because I started making this a year or 2 ago. If anything, I might have lost weight since I started making this, so I definitely don't want it to grow anymore. It's got a lot of nice positive ease in here right now, and I don't want to be feeling bigger than I am.
Measure it before you block it.
Yeah. So, but you know, I'm also not going to rip it out and start over because I might have changed sizes. Because what if I put on weight again? I mean, come on.
There is that.
Most of the pandemic, I've been going through a not binging food phase, but I'm also not exercising. And who knows? At some point,
neither one of us stress eats, so
yeah. But that could change. I don't know. So
we could go back into the whole boredom phase, and yeah.
Boredom? What's that?
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, okay. So
letters.
Let's see. I feel like I'm watching a lot of Star Trek. I feel like someone from the Borg who has like an extra appendage on right now. Oh boy. Okay, so this has a very pretty leaf photo, and I think it's actually handmade by the letter writer, but we're keeping all names private just because we are. But it's very pretty. Dear Becky and Lizzy, and I know we read this, and now I forget what it is. So I'll be refreshed.
I remember bits.
I enjoy watching the two of you! Exclamation point. Thank you. You have helped me have the courage to tackle more difficult projects. I'm finishing some things to begin a cardigan that will have color work, be knitted in the round, and will be steeked. Oh, that's right. Now I remember. That is scary. I agree, but it will be okay. Could you share some words of encouragement about steeking? Waiting breathlessly, wondering wanderer. Thank you, waiting breathlessly and wondering wanderer. Steeking. It's kind of hard for me to offer a lot of encouragement because I haven't steeked a whole lot.
I haven't steeked, but
I've done one project and it was a tea cozy.
But talking to people who have,
yes,
words of encouragement, like one of our knit nighters, shout out to Jessica.
Jessica has helped us immensely.
Who she did this gorgeous sweater. She showed it to us on Knit Night. It was superwash wool. Superwash and steeking should not even be in the same room together.
Words of encouragement. I hope what you've picked is 100% wool, not superwash.
Yeah,
because that is what helps make it successful.
But she did all the little tricks to keep all the edges together. She
did some sewing of things.
Yeah.
You can machine sew, you can crochet edges, everything you can do before you go. Whoop.
And she did all that, and she was like, I was terrified. And then I was like, just do it. And she goes, even with the superwash wool, she has a gorgeous sweater.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she was like, just...
It still worked. She had to do extra work to make sure it didn't fall apart.
Yeah, but she was like, just do it. If I can do it with the wrong yarn.
Yeah, right.
It's almost like when you drop the stitches on your dragon wing cowl.
We had to drop them all the way to the bottom and pick them up, and it was terrifying and exhilarating at the same time.
Yeah, it's like it works. Yeah. The pattern wouldn't call for it if it didn't work.
Yes, and I believe it's mostly used in like heavily in Norwegian knitting. So there's a whole country at least who like relies on this as when doing color work like this, instead of going back and forth for a cardigan, they knit it in the round and zoop and just slice it.
One of the blogs I read, this was years ago, it was a fabric blog, but the gal had been to Norway to visit her family, and she's like, everything they make is knit in the round and steeped. Like if you want a tablecloth, you're not a table, but a placemat. It's like you knit it in the round with all the Fair Isle bits because it's easier, and then slice it.
It's easier than Fair Isle purling. I've done that, and actually the hat that is made, the Night Blooms hat with the Stargazer brushed, I took yarn that I was using for a cowl that they had sent me a pattern for that was really pretty. But it was, you had to knit flat and do color work, and purling and doing color work. It's not the most fun thing in the world, it's a little awkward. And
because I know Norwegian purl, it changes how the
tension.
It changes the tension, but how big the bubbles are. Yeah. Or not the bubbles, but the stitch, so you can get a line of perfect stitches and a line of big perfect stitches, it doesn't even out. So it looks
here is the reason you want to do it in wool, or at least like an animal fiber, but wool. We talked yesterday about how the camelid mixed with the wool, because the wool has the barbs. The wool has structure, that scales, barbs, whatever you want to call them, that will overlap and grip to themselves. So they will, when you cut, especially if you've reinforced it at least mildly, they will hang on to each other instead of going like superwash has all the barbs removed. So when you cut it, and you have all these things hanging out there, and they'll go whoop, no barbs to hold them together. But if you have wool, especially, alpaca, other things, again, we talked about how they don't have as much to hold structure, but they're better than something that's been totally stripped. But you'll cut, and they'll catch on each other. They'll catch on themselves to keep them from coming apart. And people have been doing it for hundreds of years, so it works. Again, it still terrifies me, just like the person who wrote this letter. I'm still mildly terrified about steeking. But shout out to another one of our watchers, Jan. It's in the UK. She's been doing a lot of steeking. I remember a project recently. We'll say no more about it because I think it's still a surprise for somebody. But
there were 5 steaks in it.
She talked about something she was working on that had a crap ton of steaks in it. So and apologies if I said too much. But it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing to just, mind-boggling. But, she knew it was going to work. She had faith, or she just, steeled herself up and did it. She's just like, yep, it's going to work. Boom. So maybe she can comment on this video and offer some words of encouragement. So waiting breathlessly, the wandering wanderer. Ooh, that's a nice tongue twister. I like it. Wandering wanderer. Check the comments on this and go back and check in a day or two. But Jan's usually pretty up to date on watching these, I think. So if she has any words of wisdom, I bet she'll share them. Or I'm asking her to share them by saying it right now. So I really should get back to doing some steeking because it'd be fun. I'm not going to avoid it.
I want to.
I haven't come across a project that calls for it that I've really been like, yeah, I'm going to do that.
Part of mine is a lot of the steeking patterns I've looked at are like fingering weight yarn on itty bitty teeny tiny needles, and that's not going to work for me. Like, it's not the steeking in that case that bothers me the most. It's the tininess.
She's already been struggling because she's on small needles for socks, and it's making her head implode. I said it's like she's in the quantum realm, and she's going to keep shrinking. So, no, if I found a project I wanted to do and steek, and again, usually it's one that has like all over color work. The last all over color work sweater I did was way back at the beginning of my career. It was for my mom. I think I made it out of cotton. I think I made it out of Ultra Pima. I don't know why. Again, beginning of my career. So it had nice colors or something. I don't know. I don't know if my mom's ever worn it. I don't know if it ever fit right, but I made it. So it was in like a vintage knits book. And I was just like, ooh, let's do this. And I didn't know anything about fibers. And I think I knew about gauge. I bet I didn't test in gauge because that's something I like, color work in gauge, because that's something I've done more recently. So it's very possible it never fit her. But it was not the right material to steek. But that's definitely when you want to, like, steeking is really great for when you've got something complicated, you don't want to have to break into parts. So break it into parts after. So, so I love that you are wanting to tackle this next. Cardigan, color work, knit in the round, and steeked.
You can do it.
You can totally do it. Yes. We believe in you.
I think steeking, like, provisional cast on for me was my nemesis. And like, once you get past
it's like having a phobia, and you have to engage the phobia to get past it. I'm not going to make her face spiders though.
I won't. The shop will be burnt down.
No,
that's how you.
All I'll have left is the wool, because wool doesn't burn. Anyway, oh yeah, fun fact. So that's something we could talk about a little bit. Is we had someone in a week or two ago that brought these big cones of yarn in and said, "Well, what are they?" And I'm like, "I don't know, but we could try the burn test." And Liz went outside and lit some samples on fire, and we kind of could make some educated guesses based on that.
There are websites and blog
Google
posts related. Like, I've lit fabric on fire, or tried to determine fiber content.
They and Bridget Banner did that too.
Yeah,
like she bought what was supposed to be, someone took her photo of a vintage costume, like of a really nice outfit she made, and tried to make a costume off of it. And first of all, she's like, "Well, let me buy this thing and see what it actually looks like." It looked like poop. And then she's like, "And I think this is like synthetic or something, something horrible." And I think she lit it on fire to try to figure it out.
It's there are certain ways that every fiber, like plant fiber, burns different than synthetic.
I gotta say, we highly recommend doing this outside, not in your house.
No.
But yes, so wool technically shouldn't catch fire, right?
Wool is flame resistant to like if you put enough fire on wool,
Put lighter fluid on it.
Yeah, lighter fluid and accelerant things. It will eventually catch fire. But like I've taken wool fabric or fabric that I thought was wool and held the lighter directly underneath of it, and I might have gotten a slight scorch mark, but it wouldn't catch fire. Like,
so needless to say, we will not show you this on camera because we are not outside. But so what else? The plant, you said plant fibers react differently. What will they do?
Like
cotton
linen can suck up, like it'll suck up the flame. So like wearing a cotton dress around fire is bad because
well, and cotton wicks,
it wicks.
Like you make a wick for a lantern, it's often cotton, right? Or something.
Yeah.
Well, a plant fiber, right? Yeah. So
but the ash, it'll also, like, you have to look at the ash, you have to look at, there's a ton of different things. Silk and polyester.
I got her going. What?
Silk and polyester or synthetic burn almost the same. Like silk will catch.
Do they melt a little more, or do they?
Silk looks like it's melting.
Okay.
And it'll do the little beads of, like when you melt polyester or a synthetic, it'll bead and bubble and melt. And silk will kind of do that, but if you take the bead of charred polyester and crush it, it's just a bead of polyester. It won't crush. If you take the same,
it'll be like a plastic bubble.
It'll be a plastic bubble.
Okay.
Silk will look like that, but if you take that bubble, you can crush it into your fingers, and I mean it's like the finest ash. It and that's how you know that it's silk.
Yeah. I would think acrylic would melt as well.
Acrylic melts, polyester, any synthetics. If it's like rayon is a natural.
It sounds synthetic. Yeah,
like,
it sounds like made, but it's produced from like a plant fiber.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, they take a plant fiber and put it through this
viscose
huge
rayon
chemical process that it anyway. But there's charts and different things you can learn more about.
Cool.
Like
so. I'm wondering because I don't know, and you might not know, but alpaca, like other animal fibers, will they be like wool and not catch, or will they kind of catch?
They might kind of catch. Like when I was playing with the yarn outside, some of it was like, no, I'm not gonna burn. Like light on fire. No, it kind of smells like burning hair or singed hair. But
that's right. The camelids more smelled like hair.
Camelids, right? Like there was more burning hair, and the wool was like, no, I'm not. And then there was one, and it was applied yarn, and so I lit it, and like it caught on bits, and some of it didn't want to catch on bits, but crushed the ash, and I think it was silk. Cool. It was a silk blend.
You were thinking that might be like an alpaca silk blend or something like that.
Yeah. It was it's just.
It's fascinating.
I should not be allowed to play with fire.
Playing with fire outside.
In fact, most like when you're talking about burning stuff, they're like, have a big metal bowl that if it's windy and you have to drop it,
it's good.
You want something you can put your whatever into. To where
so it won't blow off into the trees.
Yeah, or you don't burn your fingers, because if you think it's silk and it's acrylic and it just goes really fast, it's.
Well, and I'm reminded of when I see comments online and they're just like, don't make a baby blanket out of acrylic because, it will catch fire and melt, or you'll hurt the baby. And it's like, how many people hopefully are not putting kids near fires anymore to keep them warm, but you never know. But so it's not time to answer that yet. So we're gonna try to ignore it. But of course, I brought it over here, so it's gonna make loud noises. We still have 15 minutes. It could be the person who's coming for the 10 o'clock appointment, in which case I'm gonna run away and talk to it. The phone.
So lighting fabric and fibers on fire is a neat way to play guess what this could be.
I let her do that because I don't really know, and I don't like playing with fire. So she's more comfortable with fire than I am. So, anyway, so I thought that would be something fun to kind of address.
Yeah.
You know, there are ways. I mean, I'm not a magician. So if someone comes in and says, "What is this?" I'm going to be like, "I don't know. We can try some fire tests on it to make some educated guesses, but we still don't know."
And even within the groups, like linen and cotton and, you know, the plant fibers, some of them burn so similarly.
It's hard to
tell.
Parse out.
Yeah.
I'm almost to the point where some things that she brought in, I could feel and be like, this might have some silk in it or alpaca. Like it feels soft, you know, but I'm not an expert yet by any stretch of the imagination.
And knowing the source of her yarn, like we knew where she got it. The chances that it was synthetic were small. So yeah, but it's just, I mean, stuff like that's fascinating to me. But you know, if you're buying thrift store yarn, which I've been known to do, gotta rescue yarn from the thrift store.
Yeah, yarn. And sometimes like, thrift store yarn can be fancy, and sometimes it's going to be bargain bin.
I've found Rowan kid sock, the Rowan kid silk case at a thrift store, and I was like, ooh. I've found, you know, other German yarn. Somebody had been on a trip and it was like, it's German yarn, but nobody in the States knew what it was. So they thrift stored it for like $1 a ball, and it was 100% wool, and just the colors were awesome. And I was like, I miss rescue. And I don't know what I'm going to do with it.
And everyone's got budgets, and there's times you're going to be extravagant with your yarn, and there's times when you're not. And that's okay. That's one of our goals here in the shop is to have a range. I mean, we honestly don't have a whole lot of selections of 100% acrylic. We've got some DK weight baby stuff. We've got some chunky stuff. But we don't have a whole lot that's 100% acrylic. So if someone comes in searching for that, we might have to disappoint them. But there are a lot of local yarn stores that will have none. And so we try to have a range.
And having a range is helpful, like with my thrift store yarn and I'm making yarn now. I have to pair it with something, like not like I have to pair it with something, but if I want to extend the amount that I have, it helps to have a range of fibers and prices to choose from you know, go, hey, I want to make this, but it takes 2 colors and I have one. I need something to.
And sometimes we can find stuff that'll work, and sometimes we can't. We are not a magic box, I like to say right now.
We had a lady come in with this wonderful art yarn. It was like a ribbon with these little bubbly art yarn, and she was wanting to pair it, and it paired best with Lang Splash.
Oh, that's
because it was that cotton, you know, and
it had little bubbles in it too.
Yeah,
and,
so it's like, you know, sometimes you just got to think out the box a little bit, but
it's true.
We can generally find something.
We do our best with what we have. Yeah, we only have so much space, even though we have a bigger shop now. We only have so much space, and
I might have started
judicious choices. What?
I might have started going up for those that have been in the shop and know what that means.
Oh yes. Little corner here that you can't see from the street. We've gone higher, but not much. Just so people don't have as many tripping hazards when they come to shop inside.
I'm running out of places to put stuff.
I would say not my fault, but it's totally my fault.
I prefer to blame FedEx.
Well, and even though we don't have space for everything, we still don't have everything people want, and we're gonna upset someone at some point.
Magic box.
Yeah. No.
Yesterday, she was not the magic box I was looking for.
I was not the magic box you were looking for?
Yeah, you didn't have the right color for. I was buying more sock yarn, and why can't you be a magic box?
Beggars can't be choosers comes to mind, but you know, doesn't quite fit. You know, anyway. Yeah. I have colors that would work, but she poo-pooed them. So, or she's already using them. Yeah. She can't use the color twice on her socks, apparently. So, you know, we all know who that is.
Actually, I'm thinking about using the color twice because you were like, oh no, you can't pair this with. And I was like, ooh, but maybe I can.
Are there really hard and fast rules about things like that?
Well, it was just the face you made when, you know, I was like, ooh, it's going to be an ugly sock. I've been looking for those.
She wants ugly socks.
I want ugly
She
socks.
really does. So yeah. We should wrap up in a couple of minutes so we can get ready for 10 o'clock. And I'm trying to think. Oh, I started my birthday sweater. I'm gonna show y'all. So I don't even know if I talked about this. I think I decided it was my birthday sweater after filming on
You
Tuesday?
did, yeah.
Which, by the way, birthday discount. You have today and tomorrow to use the birthday discount, and we will not be reminding you tomorrow. So online, Rebecca's B-Day is the code to save 20% on the online shop, but it only works today and tomorrow after Friday the 13th. It's done. Or wish me a happy birthday. Even though it's Tuesday, come by the shop today or tomorrow and wish me a happy birthday. And I'll give you a discount. So,
and if I'm ringing you up, you have to actually tell me if you wished her happy birthday or not, because I don't go online to look at her Facebook page.
So, yeah, you can't just be like, well, I wished it on online. You say it to us, because then we'll say, oh, good, you get the discount, 20% off your purchase. So, I decided to do the sorrel sweater or sorrel. I don't know how people are saying it. And I thought it had these drop down and pick up braids in it. And it turns out they're stitches where you go way in, you go down 5 rows and over 1 or 2 and pick it up. It's like something we had in the shop called the fairy tale cowl with cantata. But I also said, I really want to use this Everglade by Fiber Spades. And you can't see much of it yet. I've only done one little drop down. Look at that. Oh, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. So I've only done one of those, and you'll have to see over the weekend if I decide to spend some of my weekend off working on this. I just think it's going to be luscious. I am alternating skeins. Where's my other skein? Oh, there it is. I am alternating skeins because it's a tonal and it's a hand dye, and I don't want to have pooling or like where a sleeve, like the rest of this sleeve, suddenly looks like it's kind of a different color, similar but different. So I'm trying to blend it all together, and it's looking so pretty. I'm so excited. So anyway,
it looks awesome. Yeah, I'm about inch and a half from being done with these socks. I worked on them last night.
She's making further progress than I am on socks. So we got to go because we got to clean off this table and be ready. And I got to take this fun thing off that looks like I'm sewing it on myself as I go. But we love you and we miss you, and have a good weekend.
Join us for knit night tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And Saturday is our Facebook. No,
Not this
Saturday. Never mind.
No. That's why I'm taking the weekend off to rest up for next Saturday. The 21st is our Facebook Live and Zoom afternoon session. So we have knit night tomorrow night. You have 2 more days to save 20% with Rebecca's B-Day. Next week, we start our schedule all over again with weekend updates, we could call it, on progress on Tuesday.
Sideshow Adventures with Liz and Rebecca.
Whee! Back to just a regular old sideshow. And then the VSC, and then Dear Becky and Lizzy. Yeah, all kinds of fun things. So subscribe if you haven't already, or share this with someone who might want to subscribe and enjoy our company. And at least give us a thumbs up if you liked it, all that good stuff. And maybe we'll see. Oh, the sun's out. Maybe we'll see you today if you're local. Come by and say hi. We'll talk to you outside. All right. Bye, everybody. I got to hold on to this so this doesn't trail across the floor.
It's already half on the floor.
What is going on?
I don't know.
Oh, my. Okay.
Oh, my. Oh, dear.
Not using the last phrase of that.
And she can't finish it. Bye.
Bye.